Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. Today's quilt block is called Continental. It's fairly easy to put together using 3.5 inch squares, some 1 3/4 inch strips, and I'll leave the information down below. I'm showing you everything that I cut ahead of time, but I did forget one item or 4 squares. I'm going to let you guess what I forgot, and then I'll let you know when I remember. I'll show you what happened. But here are the pieces that I started with. I need to make some half square triangles. I need 12 half square triangles, so I cut 6 green and 6 background squares, 3.5 inches, to make 3-inch half square triangles. I'll put a green and a white together, and I'll draw a pencil line from corner to corner, and then I will be sewing a seam on both sides of that line, and then I will cut along the pencil line. I'll press to the darker fabric, and then I'll trim all of my half square triangles to 3 inches. Here are 2 strips I need to make my little 2 patches, and the strips are both 1 3/4 inch wide, and they are about 8 inches long. So after sewing these 2 strips together, I cut them in little segments. After opening it up and pressing, I cut them into 4 segments that are 1 3/4 inches. Here are all the pieces I have so far. I have my little 2 patches, my half square triangles, and some small green strips that are 3 inches by 1 3/4 and a center square that's 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to begin, and I'm going to lay my quilt block out, and pretty soon I'm going to realize that I'm missing one element that is important. So I'll put my half square triangles around that little cross in the middle, and then I will take the rest of those half square triangles and I'm going to place them just like this. And here's where I noticed that all of the corner squares need to be a 3-inch background square, and I failed to cut those. So after I lay out these half square triangles, I'll go back to the cutting table and I will cut 4 little squares that are 3 inches. Here they are. And after laying everything out, I put this quilt block together sort of in sections. I put these strips together first, and then I put the 4 patches together with those half square triangles, and then I sewed the whole thing together to make this beautiful quilt block. This is a beautiful 2-color quilt block, and as usual, I'm always wondering what it will look like scrappy. So I will probably be trying another variation of this same quilt block, and here it is with sashing. I think this 2-color block would be really pretty with just some of that background sashing. And be watching out for a scrappy version of this same quilt block. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. And here is a little blooper for you. This is how I originally put the block together, accidentally putting those white squares in the center near the cross rather than the outside corners. It's also a pretty block like this, but just sometimes when you put things together wrong, you end up with a totally new design. So I thought it'd be fun to add this as well. Take care, and I'll see you next time.